What's up guys, welcome back to the next video on learning JavaScript. My name is QTS Dani and you guys are watching my channel Croywood. Okay, so we have seen the synthetic context and we've seen that statement, expression and method definition. So in this video I was thinking to show you guys the key binding, but it's very advanced topic, so we're gonna go ahead with our we've seen the variables. So if you look in here, the first ones we've seen the variables. What is the variables, how we're gonna assign variables, how we're gonna output the variables. So in this video we're gonna go on the local and global variables. So I'm gonna show you guys what is local variables and what is global variables. Then we're gonna go towards the comparing our comparison operators. Then we go towards control flow, and then we're gonna come and revisit the functions again. So now you guys know the functions, how we're gonna pass the function, and look at here the arguments, what's the function arguments. By now you guys should have a very good understanding of the function, how we are gonna invoke the functions, and because that's the basics of the function, you guys need to understand how to invoke the function. Okay, so what is the variable? You guys seen the variable here in the first video. So we put a var, we put a const, we put our name, and we displayed our name here. We put a let, and we put a my age, and we change it, and we said that the difference between let and const. And now we have but normally we use var as well, so keep in mind, because in JavaScript you see the programmers still use var, but it's a good idea if you guys use a let and const. Okay, so now we're going to come here. What is the local and global variables? So I'm going to leave this function here, and I'm going to come here and put a local and global variables. So I'm going to save it, local global var .html, or I put a local global, for example, .html. Okay, so now we come here and put our HTML, and from here, from the functions, we're gonna come here, and we're gonna see. So I'm gonna close this one, and I'm gonna close this one. So local or global variables here. Okay, so we put our script. Okay, so the local variables are the variables inside the function. So whatever the functions you have, any variable inside your function is say we've seen in DOM, that's a variable, but we don't have a function here. We just have something that tests if this is true or not. So if it's true or false, so that's it. So the if statement. But if you guys gonna come here and say you have a function, and first we're gonna look at the local variables, and say we have a function, say for example function, and our function we call it would, for example. Okay, so this function would have local variables, and how we're going to check the local variables. Say local variables, we put a variable var, or you guys can put x is equal to say 20, or you can put age equals to 20. So this is now local variable, because this one's sitting inside the function. So local variables sits inside the function. Our methods, functions, or if it's in case of the class, it sits inside the method. So now this is local, because this is not outside of the function, it goes inside. The lifetime of this one is from here to here. So other than that, this one's gonna die. When the function finishes, this one dies as well. So that's the definition of the local variables, and only this function have the right to use this local variable, because this is a local to this. Think of this one is like people lives in one city, because they are local to that city. So you can use this one. Say you guys put a document, you can put a .write, document.write, and inside this one you can put your object. It says my age is, and you can put your age, then you can put an age here like this, and now you can output the function would. And if you come here and we're gonna go back and we refresh, we're gonna see our local global, but you don't see anything, remember, because we haven't invoked our function. So he needs to call our invoke function, call function, call. So we need to call would in order for to invoke it. So my age says 20. Okay, so now we know that how we're going to call our function. So how about global variables? Now we know that the local variables, but if it's outside this one, you can't use it. So you can only use it inside here. So if I have another function here, say my function is going to be would, for example. Okay, so my function is going to be, say, flower, for example. And if I try to use this one here, I can use it because this is local to that function. So if I put a flower, if I try to invoke, and you're going to see it's not showing because this is the local to this function, and it's not going to accept this function, this variable, because the function flower doesn't know anything about this age. Okay, so you guys can but what about the global variable? What is global variable? Global variable is the one outside the function. So in opposite, global variables are outside the functions. Okay, they're like free from any function. They are not belong to any function. The functions, they don't care about if there is a global variable, but every function can access them. So we put a var, say global, we put global var, for example. So we put a var, global var, and we put something, say for example we put a number of 777. Okay, so now this number, this is our global variable, this guy here, because keep in mind that's not sitting inside any function, it's a global variable. You don't have to put a global var, you can put a XYZ, you can put anything you guys like. You can put a GR, you can name it anything, you can put a V, you can put anything you guys like. You don't have to put a global var, but the reason I put it, so you guys know that this is coming from the global variable, so you guys don't be confused. Okay, so now we have a function age. We tried it here, it wasn't working. So how about we try this one here? We put a document.write, we copy this one again, and we put it underneath. And now this time we are not going to put an age because the age is not going to work. And now we put a global var. Global var. The global var is global variable is, okay, I already put it is. Okay, so now we're going to see that there is a function global variable, and we are using this function, and we are invoking here. So let's see if it works. So we're gonna come here, and we're gonna copy this one, and we're gonna put it here underneath. Keep in mind that this global var is outside this function. So now I'm gonna put a global var. So then I'm gonna put the global var, global variable is. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it here, and you guys gonna see that the global variable is 777. Alright, so now we're gonna come here and change this one. We're gonna put a global var. Say we put a global var here underneath to see. So you guys gonna see that that whatever here we put it here, my age is, it just says that global var is, and you can see that the global variable is this guy here. Okay, so here we put a document dot write ln, we put some sort of line, so we see, and that's how it's gonna look. So we wanna put this one because they're all against each other. We wanna see our variables differently, so we're gonna come here and we put some sort of break, and we use that's HTML, and we put this one, the same one here, and this one, keep in mind that's HTML, and we're gonna put it here, and we put a BR, and we're putting it here. So now you guys looking here, they all looks here. So the only guy left is this one here, so we put a plus and we put a BR. So now looks okay. Okay, now they all looks okay. So the first one is coming, this is a global variable, then we see that local variable, then the local variable. Okay, so if you come here on top, we're going to see that we have one global variable and we are accessing multiple times. We are accessed this one here and we are accessed here. So if you come here and put our third function, so we put a function, say our function is going to be XYZ, for example. So if you put a same one here in the XYZ, and if you come here and invoke, so I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna copy this to put it like this, to put a line, and now I'm gonna put a, not a flower, but I'm gonna invoke the XYZ. Okay, so now my XYZ is ready, and you look on here, I'm accessing that one every time in whatever functions I want without even declaring it. Why? Because this is a global variable. So that's the thing with the global variable, you guys can, any function can access this one. But if you guys gonna come here and try to access this guy here, age, you're not gonna have any luck, because the age belongs to this wood. So even though you guys gonna come and you guys not gonna see, it doesn't matter how many times you try, you're not gonna see this age. Because why? Because age belongs to this function wood. This is the only function that can access this one, is this guy here. That's it. No other function can access it. Doesn't matter if you guys put it 3 times, you're gonna see your age 3 times, but doesn't matter. But if you guys wanna any functions try to access this one, can access this one. You guys can put ABC, so you guys can change it, say for example to ABC. So that's a global and local, because very easy to understand, it's not a rocket science. So you can put ABC, and you can come here and you can put a document dot write, and you can put it here ABC, for example, ABC. And if you're gonna come here and you're gonna see that global variables, you're gonna see that a lot of times, because every time you guys do that, and I'm gonna remove this one from here because this one's preventing this one from showing, because getting error internally. And if you look in here, the global variable coming from say if you put the global variable coming from say ABC function, and the global variable coming from XYZ function, XYZ function, and that global variable coming flower function, and this global variable is coming from what was our first function, from wood function. Okay, so now you guys are gonna see that clearly that it's coming from the wood function, it's coming from the flower function, it's coming the xyz function, and this coming from the abc function. And you guys gonna see that this local variable only belongs to the wood, so no other function can access that one. So keep in mind that's a local variable, and this is a global variable, and any function inside, be it's inside the class or inside the JavaScript, now can access, because this is free. No, it's not belongs to any function, it doesn't have any relationship to any function, it doesn't owe any money to any function, it doesn't know any function here, it doesn't care about any function. So it's independent, it's just like free and independent. So it's not depending on anyone, it's not depending, there's not inside the body of any function. Any function here can call this one and can access this one, any function. I mean, you guys going to see we have created the flower function, we have created xyz function, we have created abc function, and we are using this one global var without even declaring it. So we don't need to declare the global variables, we just use it. Keep in mind, anywhere inside the class, so if it says somewhere class like that, and your class gonna be xcc, for example, and you guys gonna see the, for example, let x, and it's gonna be some sort of value, say 9, and it's gonna be function here, all your functions underneath, whatever the function is gonna be. Any function inside the class can access this global. So you guys can apply the same method inside the class. You don't need to put it like this. You go inside the class as well. You guys can say this is a global variable. Doesn't matter how many times you guys put global variables, you can access that one. Say if you go put a global variable a, so now your var is going to be a. So for example, a is say 4, and var b is equal to say 10, and var c is equal to a plus b, so a plus b. Okay, so now you have the all global variables var a b c, and you guys want to see, you guys find out the c, and you guys gonna come here, and you guys gonna copy this one, and you guys gonna come and just put it here and put a c here, c, that's it. And it's also coming from the global variable. So if you go here and it says here, it says 14, because you guys can access this one. Any function now can access this global variable, but if you try to access another one, you guys can access that one. So if you come here and put this one inside the flower, you guys gonna see the same way, because if you see here, you're going to see 14, because that's a global. But if you try to access this one h, you're not going to have any luck. It doesn't matter if you guys come here and you put it, you guys not going to have any luck, because the wood's not going to allow this one to go here. So if you put it inside the function flower, you're not going to see that, you're not going to see the rest, because after this one, JavaScript is going to give you guys internal error, because you guys cannot access this one. But if you remove this one, then the JavaScript is going to be happy, and it's going to let your code to execute, and it's going to let the code. But as soon as you guys try to access this one, JavaScript is going to get the internal error. We're going to be extremely angry that it's not going to execute the rest of the code, because giving you guys error. Keep in mind, JavaScript not giving you guys error. JavaScript is gonna just show your function. The rest of you're not gonna execute the rest, because as soon as it encounters error, it stops there. It's not gonna move forward. It's not like any other languages. It gives you error, or it gives you like a very scary warning signs, very scary dangerous signs. JavaScript's not like that. JavaScript's very quiet. As soon as it encounters any error, it's not gonna execute the rest of the function. That's it. So keep in mind, local variables always belongs to function, and the global variables outside the function, and any function can use it. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.